Hi. So, as promised to the club, um, we're going to hit everything, and we're going to run down the basically the regular season for everybody, which is going to include really like the lows as well. But here we are. Um, so I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this. So you know what? I think what we'll actually do is we'll run it down by modes. So we'll start with as I have a spreadsheet up on the other on my other window. Um, we'll start with ones, go through twos. Um, yeah, and we'll just we'll get through everything that way. Um, and we'll figure out how I'm going to bounce around. It's probably the threes that are going to take the longest, right? So yeah, let's just let's get into it, right? So first up, ones that no one cares about because we only had two entries, but we're doing it anyways. So this is one of the biggest travesties ever in the history of IGL. Like this right here. So how did this happen? So there and there and there. Yeah. So at a later point, I think I'm going to do a video. It's called "Why Your Street Cred Doesn't Matter in the IGL." I'm going to defend the IGL and just basically roast people who don't show up. Um, but yeah, this is stupid. I'm going to get killed. This is a free win to whoever this is. But yeah, so you know because people did show up, I'm the beneficiary. And we have these people that this is just looking at all the goals for and goals against. Like these people are beneficiaries of people not showing up. Yeah, like this is oh, this is the whole thing. That's still a lot, but yeah. So this is one of the travesties ever. And now I have to play another round of ones, and yeah, that doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right at all. Whatever. So I'm clocked in at 13th. Whatever. So whoever this is going to beat the crap out of me, and sure, I may take a game off them, and it's ones, so I'm not going to be too concerned. But it's just you know, I would have given up my playoff spot to someone else. um. So let's see what's going on here. I saw some. Yeah, I saw something in Discord. Again, I didn't do anything. I went 0-3 in league play. So okay. Yeah, I'm going to be flipping back and forth. I'm like gold 3, plat 1. And I'm champ 2, high champ 2, low champ 3 in threes. Oh, well, yeah, I can type pretty fast. I can do like 90 words a minute. I can go way above that with mistakes, but I can do like 90 words a minute. Um. Okay. Well, that's our first casualty. That doesn't surprise me. So we're looking in here for Reapsy. Reapsy looks like they. I'm assuming he got thrown out of the league for not showing. When I last looked at his schedule, he had a no show in week 5. Um, so I'm assuming no showed for 6. So that's kind of a problem because we'll be touching on that shortly too. Um, just sort of as a rant, like I went into ones fully expecting to get dumpstered, um, and basically was, it bears out. Um, my week 4 opponent canceled on a Wednesday and couldn't make it, and didn't get back to me till like basically 9:30 on Sunday. Basically after I already had forfeited, I offered a reschedule too. Um, and it's like, guys, just like show up for your match. Just it doesn't matter. Like I would have gladly have gone 0-6 and ones, and taken all the L's just to like try and figure out stuff. Um, which is like kind of like why I haven't even been training for training unquote, even playing ones. Um, because it's like there's nothing on the schedule for me. So yeah, and now this week I'm gonna get dumpstered again. But whatever. But yeah. So this is just a reminder. Like it's not that hard. Just commit to it and just finish it out. It doesn't matter. Like you know, again, it goes back to like there's no street cred on the line. When you're buried in, I jokingly say like the 12th tier of Rocket League, but like this is an outlet for competition. And regardless of how good or bad you should always try and maintain the integrity of it and just play everything out. So, all right. So, we are now switching over to twos as we wait for it to load. Here's our second casualty, Lapis Lazuli. So I have a little sympathy for this team. This is a team that is technically playing up. One player where they're at, and then their partner was a lower rank, so it's going to be rough. But like again, just play it out. Just stick through it. Like there's a lot to be learned. It's always rough going, and it sucks not winning. But you know, like it's just gonna. That's just like how it is. Like you know, it's a good learning experience. If you don't want to do this again, then that's fine. But just finish everything. Finish everything out. All right. Um. Okay. So. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Website. Look at this. So I'm not sure that based on this, I'm pretty sure this didn't get straightened out. Um. Supposedly this was reported. I don't think so. Um. There are always some things that slip through the administration cracks. The fact that it actually doesn't happen more often is kind of surprising because just the volume that's go through the IGL. But yeah, that's a problem. Again, just communicate because this is like especially knowing that I think that Red Bulls here we're gonna do this. So this is actually a case of you're out of the playoffs because you didn't send anything. And again, street cred. Like this is stupid. Like, just show up. So speaking of default, this is going to be a common theme here for a few teams. So there's a 14 team division in Tier 1 because I guess that means that the other division is full. I would have thought that they would just made one division, but I guess that means there's like 50 teams or whatever. So the Squid Kings finished 1-5. They're going to get in the playoffs by virtue of there's not 16 teams. They're going to have a rough fight. And this team behind the scenes was a mess, but they've got a fighting chance. Um, Historically, the BBC teams that get in by default in this have all won their first round matchup or their first playoff game. I have a feeling that's not going to be the case this session for the spring circuit. Um, I don't know if it'll necessarily be this team that's going to do it, but I have an idea which team is not going to win their first round matchup because they're actually up next. Um, but yeah, you know this team also is like basically sort of playing up too. So it's like I'm not and again with like what happened internally, so like it's just kind of a it's just kind of a mess and like um kind of what kind of actually surprised that there's two double forfeits on here, so it's like yeah, but again whatever. So speaking of default, so this is BBC just can't play fucking twos. For threes means I think that they play at least a rank down. So Green and I are champ two, champ three, in that range. And we've been playing together basically since the summer in twos. And we've held our own in tier two. I think this is I say paperwork change. For IGL, it's not necessarily something I totally agree with, um, because twos is definitely a different style than threes. So Green and I just got well. I mean, you could see here we got dumpstered the entire time. Um, so the announcement there is because of this, Green and I probably aren't coming back and playing twos. Like I may sub on a team, on a tier two team if needed. But there's probably enough people that don't need me and could use like someone who can play at champ three to 1599 GC. But yeah, and this is the team I'm talking about. Like we're playing whatever the 4 seed or something like that, the 5 seed, which is a rematch. So yeah, we're just gonna get creamed here, and that's the way it goes sometimes. We are the ultimate loser in this. There is no ultimate winner. Okay, so let's actually move on to some like good shit, right? Um, yeah, we'll jump to this one first. Sorry. I'm making sure I have windows up. Um, we had one team out west. This is the international team, by the way. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. If you want to see my dog or whatever, here, we'll do this. Yes, this is the dog. She's great, but she's old and cranky now. So not even in by default. All right. So congratulations to probably the ping. Just, just absolutely effing crushed it. They had some 3-2s in there. Um, but they played very well as a unit. So uh, just I mean there's not much more to say. I mean just like look at this numbers like even no is like just like across the board like kind of playing a midfield support role. Like they've been playing defender and it's just like Roy Machine Head in the back, they're scoring and No's doing like a really good job here supporting. I mean even like it's like he's like got lowered, but I mean, like even then, look at his shooting percentage, so like and his goals per game, so it's like keeping up with the rest of the team. So it's like you know, it's not like knows me or something like that. So just an outstanding job by probably the Ping. Um, and they come in with the theoretically the 2 seed. So yeah, um, big shout outs to them. Um, and here's hoping how they can make a deep run. So now we're gonna start working up the chain. All right, let's see if this is correct. Let's hope it is. So it's entire. I am the reason. So that before we get into Scorpions, I'm checking schedules. It's entirely possible that they may not have finished schedules yet, which isn't surprising. But like based on everything here, yeah. Okay, folks. This is why you play your matches. Scorpions are in on tiebreakers, assuming nothing is fucked up. So they beat out Brian and Brian Marauders. They have same game win, so same game win percent, same games win, all that. They're basically in on goals against. Um, the next tiebreaker would have been goals for, which, and then they go goal differential, which is like, I don't know how that matters. Because if you're like tied here, then goal differential is the same. But yeah, so Scarlet Scorpions are in as a 16 seed, as best as I can tell. Again, we are going to have to wait for the schedule for them to finish making all the schedules out. Um, yeah, I'm just you know what? I'm just gonna check the one seed. So let's just check the one seed. Because if not, then there's actually some serious fucked up shit going on. Are they not in? Are they seriously not in? They're not in. Why are they not in? So Galefire's in. Why are they not in the playoffs? All right, guess what we're going to do? We're going to read some fucking rules. This is inconsistent. This is inconsistent across everything. Okay, so they're out. That's unfortunate. FML. There's a. It's amazing how much the rules change. That's actually like how inconsistent the rules are. So Scorpions are unfortunately out, which is stupid. They're basically out on goal differential. In another document, it is organized by game wins, games lost, goals against. So yeah, no, conferencing is nothing. Conferencing is a relic. But hey, they get to go up against the GC team, so Tiesto, it's based on goal differential. Like, unfortunately, like the rules documents are a mess, so yeah, whatever. But they're basically out on goal differential. They basically finished 17th. And again, this makes me really, really mad. And wait till we get to Tier 2 Division 4. But this right here makes me really, really mad. Because this isn't, or like, I'm going to have a complaint here. It's just, it's not organized by tiebreakers. And basically, all this is like saying that goals against matter. And like, the rest of the stuff is actually organized by some semblance of tiebreakers. Like, yeah, this is like all organized by tiebreakers. It's this actual column, the goals for and goals against, is actually not. And yeah, so I can't believe that this is not. And it supports one of the rule documents I pulled up because it's like, well, theoretically, all the rules documents should be the same because they expanded their tiebreakers over time. Because it was like extremely messy in the fall. Um, right? Yeah, the fall. Because that's when the I say old style, but like the last vestige of all the tiers are it's just one massive playoff fight. So 5-1s were missing out in the playoffs. So they expanded tiebreakers and went to this system, which is better. So Yeah, this is actually frustrating. So Scorpions are out, and funnily enough, like, yeah, yeah. So so we'll we got another rant incoming. So I don't know if the Scorpions could have made up. What was that? 16 goals. So they need 17 goals in 3 games. That's, you know, 6-0, 6-0, 7-0. Um, and this wouldn't change. This wouldn't change at all because you do at least get the games won. But that is a concern. Is that on a forfeit, the goals just go straight in the ether. They make actually count a goal game, but it is rough. And um, so I'm going to a hobby I no longer doing, but in competitive Magic the Gathering, um, the buy. Well, first of all, whoever gets a buy, it's only if there's an odd number of person, and since they do like Swiss pairings, which I understand you just cannot do here. But the buy is the best thing to get, but it usually goes to the bottom of the table every round. Um, so like it helps them in tiebreakers. So it's like if you want to buy, like you want it in the first round, because you get in this case it'd be an easy 3-0, and you get like infinite goals or whatever. So it's just like the best thing to get. But you only want in round one, or in the early rounds because it just gives you the best possible tiebreakers. And that's kind of what I'm alluding to here. Again, 3-3 is nothing to scoff at. Um, Especially for a team that just formed. Um, that was put together. Um, so, and it's essentially now, I was saying like they're in on tiebreakers. They just basically missed out on tiebreakers. So that was a very, very good season. And these numbers probably would look a little higher, had they actually got to play their match based on whatever hypothetical results they would have had against the team that no showed. Um, I mean, though, again, to be fair, the Scorpions would have had to make up 17 goals to beat Brian and Brian, and then have a date with the 1 seed. Or actually, they would have had a date with the 2 seed. Actually, let's see. Yeah, yeah, because they would have to be up Brian and Brian, because the 3-0 win is reflected in this, and they can't drop Gale Fire. So, um, but again, like aside from that, and that's pretty huge. It's like you still want to play Rocket League. Um, I would say again for a team that just got put together, like this is an unbelievable season for the Scorpions. So you guys did really really good. I mean the fact that they're 3-3 and also like on the positive side of game win percentage too. So like and these are all like solid numbers. Again, this is for a team just put together. Like Vicin's just doing some just massive, massive back work, and doing a good job supporting. Um, you know, Jordan doing the heavy lifting up front, Finn's doing support, playing from the back. Solario, again, also in a supporting role. It's hard to look into this. This could just be in a sweep for or against. But the fact that, This is why you have subs. So it's good that generic got some play. And again, these are like fine numbers for a sub. So Scorpions, there's nothing to be ashamed of with this result. So let's see. Who's next on my list? Ah, okay. We're getting into the good stuff. Hi. Um, so another team that it's a combination of formed up remnants, left behind in a way. Um, so I'll explain the left behind. Um, Box was my running mate for 3 sessions in threes. We've definitely had our ups and downs through it. I finally graduated, so to speak, and look all the good it did me. Um, but this team, 5-1, and they clock in where they're at. Is the case. So here's a caster. Didn't play, but that's fine. That's why you have subs. Again, may not necessarily use them. Um, I know this is a one game series, I believe, for Miko, but that's some pretty good numbers. So it's basically Bucks, Verge, and Worky most of the time. Um, Verge doing offense, Worky just being a super, super, super number two. Um, and like this isn't like totally unexpected. Like I know just from playing with Bucks, playing from the back, and like he doesn't really need to do stuff when you got this going on. Like the shooting percentage is down just slightly, but whatever. But yeah, this is solid. And I expect the Black Mamas again to do some damage. Very good season for them. So congratulations. Like 5-1. Um, I'm just gonna wait for it to show up again. Yeah, and yeah, that's a solid 4. So they play like an 11. But we know this is like fucked up, so who knows who they play. But yeah, uh, good job by the Black Mambas. So now we get into our tier two, and here's our best tier two team. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I called this after week one, and like, I'm really, really excited to see this team because these guys, whoo, they got streamed a lot, and yeah, again, they have subs that they didn't have to use. This so like Squeaky and Snurted have played a lot together, and they added DZ, and oh boy, did this team just pop off. Um, and like even then, like just like look again, look at these freaking numbers. Like like this is freaking awesome. Like DZ's not that far. Like DZ coming in as a third and like adapting. Like this is awesome. Like freaking a. Like good job. Mad props to DZ. I just mad props to his team. Like this team just fucking crushed it. Like they played awesome. Um, I don't know what more else to say. Um, other than you know let's hope they run the table. They're really really good. Like I hope they stay together. They're this is sneakily like yeah, it's one of our best teams. Just in terms of like working together and all that. Okay, so before we check the shitstorm that's Division 4. Oh, I still one. No, there's not. I could make them private, so I'll do that later. But that's a lot of work. Okay, so I said this was a shitstorm. So we'll get this out of the way. Okay, so first we're looking for BBC teams. Oh, look. Oh, look. You shouldn't be playing Shinobi, by the way. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We're in the rant time again. By what fucking metric? By what fucking metric are the Red Bulls throw out the game? Throw out the one game. They have a better goal differential than either of these two teams. Either of these two teams. And the Scorpions were eliminated based on goal differential. So why are the Red Bulls sitting in 16th? They're okay. So now, yeah, Scorpions actually have a legitimate gripe. Scorpions have a very, very, very legitimate gripe. Um, and actually now the Red Bulls do. This is if goal differential is the second tiebreaker and they clock in at whatever 68, 65, 60, they still beat these two teams. Um, so man, the massive inconsistencies here are on display. And I actually cannot figure out playoff scenarios. Um, yeah, it's very whimsical. Um, so that's this is stupid. Like this is stupid. Like if the Scorpions were eliminated based on everything, why are not the Red Bulls higher? So again, like I don't. Yeah. Well, whatever. So we'll get into Red Bull season. So they went 3-3. By the way, former champions, and things are moving slow on my end. Either that or IGL. No, I'm already a member. Let's do this all over again. I'm actually legitimately mad about the inconsistencies on tiebreakers. Like, I'm really really mad about that. Like that just this doesn't make sense if the Scorpions are out. I'm sorry. Why aren't Zephyr in? Like, you know, why isn't like Cuter in? Like this, you know. I mean, technically Zephyr should be in, but they're probably not. So again, I don't understand this. Like suddenly goals against matter here, but and it's again, it's just like I don't understand by what metric are we applying all this. So this is beyond stupid. And actually, Zephyr Esports has legitimate gripes here because they beat these two on goal differential. So it's just like I don't understand this. Anyways, let's go to Red Bulls. So you finished 3-3. So solid. Um, Murloc and Squiddy were swapped out a lot throughout the season. As we can see here, good season for Griff. Like shocking. Um, Dill doing Dill things. Squiddy and Murloc. Like, you know, this is a very interchangeable team in a way. So it's it's good, like good across the board. You can just like obviously see like who kind of you know split games and who had the opportunity to play in all six rounds. But this is a good team. They get to go up against Shinobi because IGL. I'm not salty about that at all. They did backdoor their way in the playoffs. I will say that. Um, yeah, and basically underperformed. So let's see if they can go beat Shinobi, right? So speaking of tire fires of teams, let's get to a team that was like basically assembled at the last minute. Like that helped us, right? By the way, if you want to talk about consistent, like we are basically a team that does one or two things. Like we have four sweeps in our record. We're 2-2 in sweeps. We had game go to four. So this matchup's going to be really quick one way or another. So Green and I were interchangeable. Um, this is like this is like small sample size like Central again because of the amount of games we played. We played the fewest amount of games plus one that you could actually play. Um, so like yeah, Green and I were basically operating in the three role. And Unforgiven and Gravity, just doing Unforgiven and Gravity things. Um, and we got better. We actually got better as the season went along. Um, so, this is like, I don't know, we outperformed Vegas by like 2 wins or some shit like that. Because this team heading the season was a mess. Um, But yeah, um, yeah, and Unforgiven doing other Unforgiven things like shooting under 30%, hitting posts, that sort of thing. But yeah, um, I guess that's us inexplicably taking care of business when we need to. So the last of our teams, where are they at? There they are. So this is up top in Tier 1. So Crimson Tachi, congratulations to them. Um, Another throw together team, but they've played together a lot. And since this is basically Tier 1 is basically Rocket League Open Division, um, there's just like 1600 plus. There's just like so much variance up in here. Um, so 4-2, just nice, super solid finish. Um, and they played really well. Just I'm pretty sure like everything is interchangeable on this team. This team just like they all play together. You know, they you know this is a good team. Um, so I'm excited to see what they do going forward. They are in the one seed side of the bracket, so but you know, this is why we play the games. So I really good finish. I hope they make a deep run. So I got one last thing to look at. Where is Frankenstein's monster hiding at? Did I pass it up? Yes, I did. So over on the Killer Queen black side, and by default, is um, IGL presents Frankenstein's Org Monster. These are all are all uh, org owners in some shape or form. So this is just basically a throw together team for our Killer Queen back. Um, you know, there's not much really to add on that. They played. This was a round robin, 6 weeks. So they played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7. So yeah, so you can do the math here. But I mean, like you know, interesting finish. Um, that's really weird. But I'm just gonna give a shout out, and congrats to anyone from the other orgs who is just you know giving it a run. Um, it's like a super interest. Is Killer Queen is a super interesting game. I'm not don't play it because I don't have time to learn yet another game when I'm pretty bad at Rocket League. Um, but yeah, so that's going to wrap it up. for this one. So, uh, man, some parting shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we had 15 teams, and we had 5 miss. Well, we had 4 miss. Technically, the Scorpions should be in the playoffs. I'm just gonna say that now. Um, and we probably could have had another one in there if people would report results properly, like when a team doesn't show up. So, um, yeah, I need to update something on my end real quick. Um, so yeah, um, essentially we would have. I mean, we have 2 teams in by default because there wasn't enough. So like in the spots where it mattered, we technically put all our teams that weren't DQ'd into the playoffs. Um, except one. Um, so yeah. So that was actually a pretty good result for us. Um, so when the last team gets eliminated, we'll do a rundown of how everyone did in the playoffs. I might do something with Dill. We may do that with Dill if he ever gets free. Who knows? But yeah. And then sometime later this week, yeah, I'm gonna have to do this street cred video, and it's gonna unfortunately turn to an IGL rant again. Um, I think the IGL does a lot of great things, and again, for Free League, they're doing a heck of a job. But like, we have some serious issues, I think, when yeah, when the tiebreakers aren't applied correctly. So I'll save and rehash everything uh, for that video. That'll come sometime this week. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow if I don't have a match or some other BS. Um, but there is an announcement from IGL, so I assume that they are officially done with schedules. So if there are any captains watching, start scheduling your matches if your team's in the playoffs. So that will go ahead and do it for this one. Thank you all for watching. Check our schedule, check our Discord for announcements. We'll blast out whoever's going to be streamed. Um, Captains, if you actually decide to go onto the IGL network for streams, I will not hold it against you. Do whatever. Um, but yeah, um, we've got some work to be done if we want to add to the IGL org trophy case. Um, so let's just go out there and do our best and see what happens. So everyone, thank you for sticking around. Thank you for sticking through with the rants, and we'll see you next time.